What is up, guys? I am here today to show you the basics of syncing in After Effects with timer mapping. So, I'm just going to show you an example real quick of what we're going to be doing today, and then we'll get on with it. Alright, so, as you can see, we have an MSR clip, and it is pretty perfectly synced with the beat of my song down here. And I'll show you how to create digital markers, and I'll show you how to use time remapping itself, excuse me. So, I guess we could just get into it. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to delete it. And I can just delete all of these. I'm going to keep one though. So, click all these. And I have another example for you down here, but it's a shotgun feed, but we won't worry about that today. Anyways, so, timer mapping. Make sure your clip is selected. You're going to go up to Layer, Time, and then enable timer mapping. Or you can just right click your clip and it is up here again, time and timer mapping. These are used for different things, obviously, which are also very useful. So I might go over these later on, but yeah, I'm gonna turn this off real quick. Okay, all right, so basically, if you don't know what syncing is, it is taking your gunshots on your clip and matching them up to beats in a song. So I guess what we can do first is I can tell you how to do this. I'm not sure if I really want to do it. I'll just show you an example. But to get these little layer markers, I mean, some people like to take their clip here and they like to look at the waveform, or they use some kind of thing in the program. I forget how to do it. I think Baker makes it. It's like Synchronizer or something like that, to get beats off their song. But how I like to do it is just use, like, I just listen to it and I make these little markers here. So to preview your audio, you're gonna do on the Mac, it is Control Option and period. And I'll do it real quick. So there, it just previews your audio and no video at all. So you can turn off all your gun sounds or whatever, and you can just preview it. Or not or and then once you preview it, what you can do is I forgot to say this, if you do that audio preview, it starts at the beginning of your workspace. So if you want to preview, say, like where the beat drops, you can press B to begin it, and then it'll start from there like this. Okay, so to make these little markers on your song, you have to make sure this clip is selected, because if I select this clip, it'll put the markers on there, and we don't really want that. You might get a little bit confused if that's gunshots or beat or whatever. Just stick with this for now. So make sure your song is selected, and while it is previewing, you can do Control 8, or you can I won't get into it, but there's a way to change your keyboard shortcuts. So the standard is Control 8. So I'll just show you a couple markers right in the beginning here. So we're just going to preview it. And that might seem like a little, when you're previewing it, it might not come up right away, but once you're done, once you click away or you press the space bar, all these markers will come up. Say you do mess up or whatever, and you know which marker you messed up, you can press Command, and once you hover over, you get these little pair of scissors, and you just click on them to get rid of them. So I'm just going to do that real quick so we're not confused. Okay, so I already did where my beats are supposed to be. So timer mapping. Okay. Basically, when you put on timer mapping, you get two keyframes, one at the end and one at the beginning of your clip. And what these are, it's very simple, is this is speeding it up once you bring them together, and this is slowing them down once you bring them apart. That's all it is, really. Bringing together, speeding it up, and pulling apart is slowing it down. I think if you understand the timeline, or any kind of timeline, you would understand that if you're going to pull them apart, it's going to slow it down. So that's pretty simple. Now, actually finding like bullets, like when he shoots is really time consuming. So I'll show you. We're going to go through it together, but I have to warn you, it is time consuming. So we're going to go to about where he shoots, and you can use this preview to go frame by frame, but I use the keyboard shortcut command and the left arrow to go backwards, right arrow to go forward. So we're going to find where he shoots, and we're going to get this little streak bullet right here, and all we're going to do is put a keyframe. Okay. Now we're going to go, and since I'll explain this to you now. I see a lot of editors, if a guy misses a shot in between his feeds, they don't like to put like a gun sound or whatever, so they think people miss it or some shit like that. It's actually really stupid. It makes it look really retarded. So as you can see here, he does get a hit marker on this guy right here. See, wait, I'm gonna go frame by frame. See this hit marker? He does get a hit marker. He does not miss. He gets a hit marker. So most people say, you know, don't put a bullet there or whatever. Which you're right, because it is at the beginning, and there's no, like, it's not in between the feed. So it wouldn't look stupid if I kept it out of, like, the clip. It would look stupid if I put it in the clip. So personally, I wouldn't use the hit marker. Some people would if they're like they have to use one more gunshot for the beat. But for right now, we're not going to use it. So we're just going to go to our next shot. It's right about here. And we're going to put a keyframe right on this frame. Has to be exact, guys, because you're going to line your gunshots up to this too. So put a keyframe there. And go to the next shot. Put a keyframe here. And we're going to go to the next shot. And wait, no, that's it. Okay, we only have 3. That's cool. Alright, that works out. Okay, so now, before we move these, what I like to do is I like to take like the beginning of the scope and put a keyframe. And right after the shot, when he scopes out, we'll put a keyframe right there. When he scopes in, we'll put a keyframe. So it's going to be right after this one. So we're going to put it right about there. And we're going to go to the next shot, right after this one, where he scopes out right about there. That's fine. Doesn't need to be, well, if I'm not going to make it perfect, but if you're editing, you really should make it perfect. And you'll see why it looks kind of dumb if you don't like pay attention to it. And then when he scopes out. Okay. So, we have 3, if you notice, we have 3 keyframes for every shot. So, right here, I'm going to press begin. Right here is our first beat drop, so I'm going to let you listen. Okay, so we want a shot on that beat. So we're going to go right to it, and I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. We're going to go right on that marker, and my first shot is already on it, and because I already did this before. But when you import it or whatever, say your shot is way over here, just for example. Doesn't matter where it is. It does whatever. Okay. So for your first beat, or not for your first beat, for your first shot, you want to like. My first shot's all the way over here. So most people say, oh well, why don't I just take this keyframe over here and drag it all the way over to this beat? No, that is stupid. Do not do that. There's no point. You're better off, what I do is I take it and I just trim it and I take it untouched so it does not look all funky at the beginning and put my first shot right there. No need to move keyframes or anything. So we're going to put our first shot right there. We're going to go through these keyframes. Here's our second shot. So I know this one's my second shot, so I'm going to go over to my second beat. That seems about right. And we're going to put my second shot right here. All you have to do is click and drag. Oh, my computer's being a little weird. Click and drag until you... Oh, oopsies. How I like to do it is when your bar here scans over a keyframe and it's the exact frame the keyframe's on, this little yellow dot pops up. So if I go 1 frame back, it disappears, and this just says that I have a keyframe right where I'm supposed to be. So, whoopsies. And then we're gonna go through these keyframes again, and we're gonna find our next shot. and it is right there. So we're gonna go right on our beat, and we're gonna drag this one all the way over here. All right. So now you're saying, why do we have all these extra keyframes? Well, we're gonna take our first keyframe, and this is where he scopes in, so right here, and we're gonna drag it all the way over next to this keyframe, and we're gonna go up, and this is where he scopes out. So we're gonna take this one, and we're gonna drag it right next to this keyframe, and this is again where he scopes in. So we're gonna take this keyframe, we're gonna drag it all the way over here, and this is where he scopes out. So we're gonna drag it all the way over here, we're gonna put right about there. And this is where he scopes in again, so we're going to drag it all the way over here next to this keyframe. And again, this is where he scopes out, so we're going to drag this one over here. This just makes it look a lot cleaner. Now, like, this is just making it look like he quick scopes, but like as you can see, you're going to see, like you already saw it when I previewed it. It's really fast. You can notice it's really fast in between these keyframes. I guess I can go over that in another video, but some editors, like when this screen turns black, like right here, but what they'll do is they'll cut the layer by pressing Shift Command D, and so here's the whole scope in, and they'll cut this part out until it comes over to here, and they'll press Command Shift D again, and they'll totally get rid of this, get rid of that, and then they'll drag, we're going to go over to this keyframe, we'll drag this part over. No, we don't want to do that. Sorry guys. But I think you get the point. It just shows where he quick scopes, you know, it's like, it's hard to explain, but it just makes it look cleaner, so he just scopes in and he scopes out. But anyways, I don't really want to get into that. I can do that in another one, because I haven't exactly used that yet. I'm still trying to learn how to do that. So, anyways, now, as you can see, I'm going to play the song, or play the preview or whatever. I'm going to come over here, press N for the end, and I'm going to preview it, and I'll show you what it looks like. But, that's pretty much it for the guns itself. So. Okay, so you may say to me, well, it looks really choppy, and you are right. So I'm going to show you just another example. If we just want to slow it really, really slow down here at the end, we're just going to put another keyframe, and we're going to drag it all the way out. But I just want to let you guys know that after you don't want to take this keyframe right here and drag it all the way out, because you don't want it to go really, really slow after the shot, because that just like, I don't know, I just find it weird. So I'd rather do it when he scopes out. So I'll just drag that keyframe out, and you'll see how jumpy it is here. So it's really jumpy right there at the end. So I'll show you how to fix that. And this is why, like, Twixtor is obviously a lot cleaner, but it is very hard to use, and I should have been using it, but I got used to time remapping, and now I really don't want to go back. But I know I will. I will at some point. I will learn to use Twixtor, but I have Mac, so I can't really find a version that doesn't give me a watermark, so it kind of sucks. But I don't really care. This works just as well, so I'll undo that. That doesn't really do much unless you're doing like trick shots and stuff, but not just trick shots, but anything in general, but it doesn't really matter. That's just motion blur. Enables motion blur, but this right here, very important. You want to enable this. This is frame blending, and then again, we want to go up to layer, and right here is frame blending, and right now we have it off, which is bad. We want pixel motion. Now I'll show you the other one, but you can get to that again by pressing or right-clicking on your whatever clip, and it's right here again. So I will show you it now. Now it's gonna, yeah. You get a little bit of warping here, but Twixtor is a little bit cleaner. But if you're not doing like really like, I know it kind of messed me up, and if you watch my question edit, the first clip kind of screwed me because it just went so slow, and I didn't really mean to do that. But yeah, you'll see. So we're just gonna wait for this to preview, and it does get a little bit warpy at the end because obviously it's going kind of slow, but that's okay. It still looks better than it was before. Okay, so you can notice it does look a lot better. There is another form of frame blending, and that is this frame mix. But I think this looks kind of bad. But I'll see what you guys think. So we're just gonna preview this out, and it does. I don't really like it. It just, I don't know. Just doesn't look as good as the. It looks like you're putting a blur on it, which, I mean, if you're going for that, that's perfectly fine. But I mean, it's really not for me. So after this, I'll show you how to put gun sounds in. I just think it still looks jumpy, so we're just going to put the pixel motion on. Alright, gun sounds. Very simple. This is where it gets really easy. A lot of this was very time consuming. This is not the time consuming part. So I'm just going to turn this on. That's my gun sound. We're going to go all the way down to the waveform, and right here, this is a little bit less distinct than other gun sounds, but right at the beginning is where the gun sound starts, so that's where you want it. So that one's right in line. So we're just going to bring it over to the next shot, and we're going to press on this layer, and we're going to press Command D. You can also press, what is it? Oh yeah, Command C and Command V, that's copy and paste, but what I just did is duplicating, which is the same thing, a little easier. We're going to drag it over and line it up, and we're going to go to the next one. Command D to duplicate, drag it over, and line it up. So, I will RAM preview this for you. Alright, so that looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but for now it'll work. And you guys can mess with, like, I like to keep these sometimes, like, I'm going to be redoing my question edit, and what I'll be doing in that is kind of putting these down a little bit lower. But maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to make it, I'll make one like really low, how maybe I would make it. I mean, these are okay for right now, but maybe I put this like -1 and put the song up to like a 2. I'm going to put the song up a little bit. Well, actually we'll make it a 1. And I'll keep the middle one the same, and then I'll put this maybe up to like a 3. So we'll see what that sounds like. See, as you can see, you can really hear this one a lot. This one's kind of faded away. This one's kind of the same way, it's kind of faded, but I can put this all the way up. It doesn't really matter. I'll show you. It's all just based on personal preference. I like it a little bit so you can actually hear the beat, because now on this beat you can't exactly hear the beat in the song, but you can only hear the gun sound. Again, if that's what you're aiming for, it's all you. Go for it. But that is pretty much it, guys. I was going to show you a shotgun feed, but I think you get the point. It's really not that hard. Syncing is not hard. You just have to be, you have to keep listening to your song over and over. And if you don't feel that you're, like, if you have to make sure you do audio previews. What I usually do at the end of an edit is I do a whole audio preview of the whole thing, and if the shot is off, I'll be on this clip and it'll put a double marker where I feel the shot is off, and I'll go back and I'll fix it and I'll listen to it over and over. So if you do an audio preview now, you'll just get the song and your gun sound. So we'll listen to that. So obviously this last one is just a tad bit off, but yeah, it's because it's a little bit, you know, high. So if we do this. So if you make it a little bit lower, it's a little bit less noticeable, but it's all, like, again, it's all up to you. So we'll go over what I did and set it. I basically took timer mapping and I put it on my clip. I lined my bullets up to my beat in my song, which I made through previewing it with Control, Option, and Period, and I put markers on with Control and 8, and I lined it all up. Then I imported my gun sound, dropped these menus down to waveform, and I lined them up to my gun shots. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna have to see what I want to do next, but I'm sorry that I was gonna bring this out a little bit earlier, but Camtasia actually kind of screwed me over. It's only recording in 30 frames per second, so it kind of really did screw me. It was like in 360p on YouTube, so that kind of sucked. But I did reach 100 subscribers because about a month and a half ago I did put my entry into the free agent thing channel I'm subscribed to, and they have about something like 6K subscribers. So 2 days ago I was at 70 subscribers, and now I'm at something like 105 or something. So whoever's a new subscriber here, thank you so much. Try to be as active as possible. I know it's kind of hard, even as for me as a YouTuber myself that goes and watches everybody else's videos, but try to be active. If you did watch this and if it did help, make sure you like it, please.